Have you ever watched a family closely and noticed one child always seems to carry the blame? They get scolded faster, praised less, and somehow end up responsible for things they never even did. Everyone else calls them difficult, but psychology has a different name for this role: the scapegoat child. And the effects of growing up this way run far deeper than most people realize. 1. Their sense of worth gets fractured early. When a child grows up hearing more blame than encouragement, they slowly start to believe the problem lives inside them. That belief doesn't just fade with age. It follows them into adulthood, quietly whispering that they're never quite good enough, even in the middle of real success. 2. They develop an unusual level of self-awareness. Constant judgment forces them to study every word, every reaction, every mood in the room. Over time, this turns into a kind of emotional radar. Yes, it can spiral into overthinking, but it also gives them a rare depth of insight into people and situations others simply miss. 3. Trust becomes complicated. When the very people meant to protect you become the source of your pain, something inside shifts. As adults, they often hold others at arm's length, not because they don't care, but because a part of them is always bracing for disappointment. 4. They split into one of two paths. Some become people pleasers, bending over backward hoping love finally feels safe. Others swing the opposite way, rejecting approval altogether and refusing to try. Different behaviors, same root cause: a childhood need to belong that was never fully met. 5. They become fiercely self-reliant. Learning early that support might not show up teaches them to depend on themselves for comfort, decisions, and survival. From the outside, it looks like independence. From the inside, it often started as a coping mechanism, not a choice. 6. The pattern can be broken. This is the part that matters most. None of this is permanent. Because these behaviors were learned, they can be unlearned. With honest self-awareness, healing, and the right support, a person can rebuild their sense of worth and form relationships built on safety instead of fear. The past shapes the story, but it never has to write the ending. 7. Many rise into the most emotionally powerful people you'll ever meet. Countless scapegoated children grow into deeply resilient adults. They understand pain in a way others can't, which makes them remarkably empathetic, perceptive, and mentally tough. The very wound that once broke them down quietly becomes the foundation of their greatest strength. If this changed the way you see certain people in your life, including yourself, you're only scratching the surface of how powerful psychology really is. Subscribe for more insight like this, because once you start recognizing these patterns, you'll never look at people the same way again.